I expected mistakes from strangers, not from you. Do you know how many people I spoke proudly about you to? You didn't just shame yourself.
Everyone thought they knew which daughter God was proud of. They were wrong. In a quiet compound tucked behind a church building in a small Nigerian town, Pastor Emmanuel raised 2 daughters under the same roof. Same Bible, same rules, same long prayers before dawn that made the air feel heavy and holy. Their names were Grace and Naomi. Every morning, before the sun fully arose, the house awoke to prayer. Knees on cold tiles, sleepy voices forcing faith into sound. Pastor Emmanuel believed discipline built destiny, so he trained his daughters carefully. Grace understood this early. She was the first daughter, the one everyone noticed without trying. She dressed exactly how the church expected, long skirts that brushed the ground, covered arms even under heat, head bowed even while walking, as if humility lived in her neck. She arrived before everyone else, cleaned the altar without being asked, kneeled when others sat, closed her eyes tightly during prayers, as if heaven might escape if she blinked. If her father said fast, Grace fasted without water. If he said pray, she prayed louder than the adults. If he said don't ask questions, she smiled and obeyed. The church loved her. Women used her as an example. Men nodded approvingly when she spoke. They called her a gift, a true pastor's daughter. Some even whispered, "This one will go far with God." Grace heard those words. She stored them. She fed on them. Naomi was the second daughter. Not wild, not rebellious, just different. She was calm in a way that made people uneasy. The kind of calm that didn't rush to explain itself. She dressed modestly, but not like a church poster. She prayed, but never for attention. She listened more than she spoke. And she asked questions her father didn't like. Quiet questions, respectful ones, but questions that didn't fit neatly into sermons. Why does God need us to suffer to prove obedience? Why do we judge people's clothes before their hearts? Pastor Emmanuel didn't like those conversations. Some days during fasting, Naomi ate. Not secretly, not with guilt. She had ulcers. Her body burned when she stayed hungry too long. Doctors had warned her clearly. One afternoon, during a church fast, her father walked into the kitchen and found her eating rice. The spoon froze with it. The room froze with it. "Naomi," he said slowly, "are you mocking God?" She stood up, calm, steady, no tears. "Daddy," she said gently, "I know my body. I pray. I love God. But I will not destroy my health to look holy." The silence that followed pressed against the walls. From that day, disappointment settled on Naomi like dust. Her father stopped trusting her, stopped defending her, stopped really seeing her. When church members complained about her dressing, he nodded. When they questioned her commitment, he stayed quiet. His silence spoke louder than anger. Meanwhile, Grace shined brighter. She led prayers, quoted scriptures effortlessly, corrected others with soft smiles that sounded like wisdom. Pastor Emmanuel felt proud. He believed he had raised one daughter well and lost the other. But when he traveled for crusades, when the house slept, Grace slipped out, not to pray. She met a boy her father had warned her about, a boy with sharp words and careless hands, a boy who laughed at church girls and mocked holiness. Grace learned secrets no one taught her, watched things she preached against, fed desires she fasted over. She laughed at night and prayed louder in the morning. And no one noticed. Because holiness, when performed well, distracts everyone. Naomi stayed in her room, phone always in her hand, door usually closed. Her father thought she was wasting time, scrolling, doing nothing. He never knocked, never asked, never listened. What he didn't know was that Naomi sang softly at first, late nights, alone. She streamed worship songs online. No makeup, no stage, just a voice and truth. She didn't tell anyone. Months passed. Then Grace started throwing up. At first, everyone blamed stress, spiritual attack, too much fasting. They prayed harder. But the vomiting didn't stop. Hospital tests came back, pregnant. Pastor Emmanuel sat down when he heard. He didn't shout, didn't faint. He just aged in one moment. Grace cried, the church whispered, the house felt heavy. He allowed her keep the pregnancy. He said nothing more. Trust had already died. Time moved slowly. Grace's belly grew. 7 months, 8. Her prayers became quieter. Her eyes avoided mirrors. Then one afternoon, a black SUV stopped at the gate. A popular gospel singer stepped out. Well known, respected. Pastor Emmanuel was confused. Inside the living room, the woman smiled warmly and turned to Naomi. "You didn't tell him?" she asked softly. Naomi shook her head, and the truth landed. For months, while everyone thought Naomi was just on her phone, she had been singing, streaming gospel songs online. Late nights, soft voice, pure worship. No drama, no show. Her songs had traveled farther than the church walls, across countries, across hearts. She had been globally recognized, invited, verified, celebrated. Pastor Emmanuel couldn't speak. He looked at Naomi, the daughter he judged, then at Grace, the one he trusted blindly. Something broke inside him. "I'm sorry," he said. Not loudly, not for show. "I judged your obedience and missed your heart." The room stayed quiet. No celebration, no shouting, just understanding arriving too late. Sometimes the loudest holiness is empty, and the quiet faith is the one God has already lifted. That day, a pastor learned what many never do. God does not live in appearances. He lives in truth, and truth doesn't always look religious.